taxation. But first, let me thanks Doctor for her guidance to achieve this work. My work about the possibility of imposing environmental taxation in Palestine and its potential impacts on companies. This is context list. Okay, firstly, let me to give you a historical glance about taxation. Taxation imposed in several countries and several periods of time in history. The first time taxation was built in ancient Egypt, pharaohs. That kind of tax, oil tax. In that time, oil tax, this is called oil cooking tax. And I will mention here at this point the first tax evasion was recorded in history was in pharaoh times, in oil tax. Because the people was reuse the tax, the oil for cooking. So the tax collector at that time, when he went to collect the tax, he checked the amount of oil, if the normal level with the other or not, to collect the tax. The second time in Greeks or Yunan, by in their language, sphora mean contribution. This kind of tax just lived in the war time. So after the war finished, if there's surplus, the surplus back to people, and all the amount the money have from the war, we can fund the tax treasury. Also in China, also a Roman Empire. Roman Empire imposed inheritance tax. Inheritance tax, all the legacy of the dead, except the gift for children. After the Roman Empire collapsed, there is a church report, and they leave teeth tax. After that, the Islamic State came and leave hummus, and there is another kind, Qaraj, Jizya. Also, there is a zakat. Until we reach to the modern system of taxation, as we all of us know, such as income tax, profit tax, property tax, educational tax, etc. Until we reach to the most important one, which is environmental taxation. Okay, environmental taxation. When the idea of environmental taxation emerged? The idea of environmental taxation emerged in 1920 as a huge haze in the London sky. So the economist Arthur Bego suggests to use the taxation as a tool to mitigate the horrific pollution in London. From 1920 until 1987, there is no environmental taxation in the world. Okay, there is regulation, there is law, there is many try to mitigate, to reduce the CO2, to reduce the pollution, but there is no environmental taxation. The first time environmental taxation adopted in the world from the OCD country, from 1987 to 1994, at least 50% of the OCD country implement and lead environmental taxation. Environmental taxation have many names around the world. Environmental tax, green tax, carbon tax, motor vehicle tax, waste tax, duty passenger tax, and CO2 tax. Okay. This is some literature review about environmental taxation, because when I was looking to environmental taxation, I am very sure to have the newest article. So, alhamdulillah, I can find 7 articles from 2014, 9 articles from 2013, and around 17 articles from 2010 to 2012. So I have around 30 new articles about this topic, and more than 20 articles from various periods. It's related to this topic. Okay, why I showed this 4 articles? Because these 4 articles have another opinion. Every article have own position. For example, the first article, Abdullah and Morley in 2014, we can see has a negative opinion about the environmental taxation. Why? Because they say there is a few indicators that the environmental tax will lead to economic growth. Second, there is a short-run effect between the environmental tax and economic growth. Third, the study suggests to use another instrument instead of environmental tax, maybe more effect on the economic growth, environmental and natural resources. Why? Allen and other also 2014 have the opposite position. What they say? They say impose environmental tax, it promotes the economic activities. Second, leave environmental tax, reduce the emission. Third, the double dividend occurred due to increase the economic activities. Fourth, to attain the double dividend, the revenue should merge in the income tax system. Here, let me to explain a little bit about the double dividend. Okay, what is double dividend? Double dividend, when any government wanted to impose environmental taxation, have two goals. The first one, to reduce the emission. The second one, to use this to reduce unemployment. How? Use the revenue from environmental tax to reduce the revenue on labor. So at this moment, they give the companies chance, opportunity to innovation, to create a new machines, a new thing. If they can reduce their emission, so the amount will pay for tax will reduce. Also, the tax on labor will reduce. So as a result, their profit will increase. So their business will expand and they will bring another employee. So unemployment will decrease. So this is the double dividend. Okay, Cargo 2014 discuss this from another aspect, from the alternative of fossil fuel. What they say? They said when the carbon tax forced to higher demand on the biofuel, the price will increase due to raise the land rent. Two, higher land rents will lead to rise the food and biofuels price. Third, the optimal solution for the carbon tax is the mixed mode, which means a lower rate of carbon tax and serve some subsidy for biofuel. Van der 2014 also from fourth aspect discuss this topic from the social cost and technology. What they said? They said the social cost of carbon are high enough for the social cost of oil to be below the cost of renewable. Two, technology progress in renewable lead to a gradual decline in the price of renewable. Third, technical progress and population growth will affect on the optimal carbon tax rate. This is some literature review about environmental taxation. Now, how the pollution occurred? There is many resources we can say. There is indirect and there is direct resources for pollution. Direct resources for pollution when any one of us consume petrol. Indirect way, like this, when we consume electricity, when you travel by airplane, when we purchase any production, we need fuel, they need petrol to produce it. So this is the resources of pollution. Okay, when the fuel combustion, what happened? There is many kinds of gases raised in the atmosphere. These gases it form like what we can say umbrella. This umbrella led to the sunshine to enter, but not led to the hot air to go outside. So the scientific code about this GHG mean greenhouse gas. Why they say greenhouse gas? If any one of us go to the plastic house for farming and enter that house, at that time we can touch the different temperature between inside and outside that house. So the code comes from here. Now I will give you some facts about the environment, the pollution in international and in Palestinian situation. According to International Energy Agency, 2013, there is 31.6 billion of emission generated from various resources of pollution around the world. Also, there is 300,000 people killed per year, and there is losses with 125 billion also per year, according to CASA 2012. Also, according to Andrew and others, 2010, they predict the emission will reach to 70 billion ton in 2030. Also, according to Al-Amin and other 2010, they predict the earth temperature will increase between 2 to 4 degrees in the next century. Now in Palestine. In Palestine, we have 1.5 million of industrial waste. We have 3.1 million of emission, CO2 emission. This means we have 1.04 ton CO2 per capita per year. Palestine has 4.5 million population. They live with space 6,220 kilometers, according to Palestinian Center Bureau. But really, the fact, this than this number. Also, this number not the size of all Palestine. So now let me give you a small historical glance about Palestine. This plan, the first one, until the second one. I will tell you about the Palestinian suffering. When the Palestinian suffering started? Palestinian suffering started in 1917, especially in 2 November 1917, when the Foreign Ministry of United Kingdom government sent a message to the Lord Lionel Richard, the representative of the Jewish community in UK, and he promised him in that message to give Palestine for Jewish as a home, as a state. After the result of the First World War, which was finished in 1917 and collapsed the Islam in Islam state, the UK occupied Palestine and start to bring Jewish, and this land, white spot, the land under the Jewish control. This is in 1945. Okay, after that, all of us know the United Nations under the control of US, UK. So in 1974, they have suggested to divide Palestine in 2 countries. The white one, Israel, the green one, Palestine. But after that, in 1948 war, the Israel occupied all these white lands. So in 1984, we have just this, what called now West Bank and Gaza Strip. After that, in 1967 war, Israel occupied all of these land. There is no other land under the Palestinian control. After the 1993 Oslo Agreement, Palestinian Authority back and have a control in Gaza Strip and some region in West Bank. This in 2000. But today, if we have a new one, I'm sure this region also, half of them rest now. Half of them. I will see you later, inshallah. So, what's the Israeli role in pollution the environment in Palestine? We can see by their vehicle, armed vehicle, by their rockets, by their explosive, by their wars. Another thing, by their factories. Also, not this. They cut our trees, our plant. We can see this woman. After that, Israeli army cut the branch of her tree. So she had her tree. So they emit many emission. They cut our tree. After they cut our tree, they build a wall between our houses and our land. So no one of us can reach to his or her land. If anyone wants to reach to her land, he should cross these gates. But no anyone can cross this gate. Why? Because you should have a special permission. Okay, if you applied for special permission, they will not give you 90%, you will reject. They will give for the elderly person. And if you give you a permission, just for 2 or 3 days, just for 2 or 3 days, and this gate open from 7 until 8 o'clock, 1 hour, and from 4 until 5 o'clock afternoon. So if you enter to your land, you cannot leave your land until 4 afternoon. Another thing, during the whole year, they will give you 3 or 4 times permission. Just so, Victor, this is another answer for your question when you asked me about the agriculture pollution in Palestine. So also, we have this land in our part. But if we farm this land and there's some virus, some microbes or like that, we cannot cure it because Israel don't let for this medicine, this kind of medicine to enter because they claim we use it to make explosives. So this is a little glance about Palestine. Now, what is the pollution resources in Palestine? We have uncontrolled resources, the previous ones. We have under control resources, such as cars and the manufacture sector. Inshallah, in my research, I will focus on the manufacturing sector. Okay, this is the theoretical framework and the study sample for my study. I will use institutional and environmental taxation theories in my research. I will use survey also. I will use survey to check what? To check the awareness of Palestinian company about climate change, to check if the Palestinian company will consider the environmental problem in their work or not, to check if the Palestinian company have adequate knowledge about the environmental taxation or not. The fourth point, to check the Palestinian company thought about the suggested price of each CO2 ton, because I already have a price. Inshallah, next slide I will show it. The final one, to check if the implementation of environmental taxation with the suggested price will have the significant effect on company profitability. Okay, to validate the last one, I will use the information for 2 companies from their disclosure to check if they have significant effect on profitability. Okay, my sample. My sample, the Palestinian company which are listed in Palestinian exchange market, there is 49 company. Particularly, I might target the financial manager and sales manager. So we have 49 company. I will distribute 98 questionnaire. After I distribute the questionnaire and I collect the data, I will use SPSS program to analyze this data. I will analyze t-test, ANOVA, correlation, and comparison. Okay, how the environmental tax will be counted? I will count the environmental tax by 2 ways, by electricity consumption and fuel consumption. Because I said in electricity, it's indirect pollution, and fuel, it's direct pollution for environment. Okay, calculation rate. When I reviewing the article, I saw many prices. Every country what price, it's we can see it's appropriate with his situation. So I take the cheapest price because the situation economic in Palestine not very high. So I take the cheapest price from Mohammed and COVID 2012 article, which is $6 for each ton of carbon. Okay. Now I have the ton price. So now I should looking for how much if we consume 1 megawatt hour from electricity. This how much generate? This generate according to Biomass Energy Center UK 590 kilogram CO2. There is another report from Green Tech Malaysia. This Green Tech Malaysia in 3 regions in Malaysia, Peninsular, Sarawak, Sabah, have also own number, but also the lowest one is in Sabah. But in Sabah there is a problem for my calculation, because in Sabah use the water to generate the electricity, and they will calculate the average, they put the water. So this is we in Palestine we didn't use the water to generate the electricity. And also in the UK study, they give me the number of the value of the grid for the megawatt hour. What mean grid? Okay, Now when the electricity station generate this electricity and generate 1 megawatt hour, and your home consumed 1 megawatt hour, this not the same, because the electricity from a station to your home, there is a lot of losses in many things. So I will use the UK number. I took two cases study from the Palestinian list in the exchange market. I took company X and company Y. Company X, this company is depend much more in fuel and electricity in its work. So we can imagine that if we can know the rate of electricity and the fuel expensive to total expensive 29.5%. You can imagine this number. And but the second company does not depend much on the electricity. We can see the rate of electricity and the fuel expensive to total expensive just 0.2%. Okay, when I count the environmental taxation, I found the rate of electricity tax to profit in the company X just 0.4%, and the rate of fuel tax to profit just 2.2%. This for company X. For company Y, the rate of electricity to tax profit 0.009%, but the rate of fuel tax to profit 0.03%. So when I have this number, I think this may be not significant to can push the Palestinian company to step toward the environmental to friendly environmental production or to renewable energy. So I found another thing in some American article. These have many scenarios. The first scenario, I think it's close to my number, because it started from $10, I started from $6. So maybe I can use it, or I can use the second scenario from 15, or third scenario from 25, and after that progressive during the years. So, but we should note something. We should this short term, because we have the three units for measure in this case. We have short ton, we have long ton, we have parametric ton. The parametric ton is the normal ton, 1,000 kilogram. Short ton used in USA is 907 kilogram. The long ton used in UK, it's 1,016 kilogram. So this it's depend of your, it's referred for your, our doctor opinion, inshallah, in my thesis. So this is my work, and the final slide, especially for Sister Sabrina, because she likes cats.